Back by popular demand, it is Lit Sports Online with Week 17 spread picks, and it's about time we give our fans a good picks update here. But Chris isn't on the table to give them that, so we don't know where we stand, and that's very unfortunate. So
we will have that soon.
Thanks a lot, Chris. But let's talk about this week's slate of games, shall we?
Before we get into this week's slate of games, I think we should advise the fans a little something we've had going on. If you've seen our previous face-to-face videos, Justin actually talked about it. It's the Lit Sports Online Fantasy Football League. We just actually had our championship game, and we'd like to announce our champion. Was it Chris? Was it me? Was it Matt Thompson? Congratulations, buddy. Was it Justin? It was none of those. It was no other than Flaccaroni and Cheese. Colleen. Congratulations, Colleen, on a wonderful victory. And it was against you, wasn't it? Tell us about that, buddy. Let's talk about that for a second.
It's a day that I will probably never live down because we all knew Colleen had a good team. But the thing is, we both put up a stinker in the final week. It's just my team stunk a little bit more. And I had guys on the bench that I could have put in to win the game. So knowing that you left points on the bench to lose your championship makes it all the more bad.
Nonetheless, I mean, she finished the season number one with only 2 losses. Losses from someone who wasn't here at the table this week. And, of course, your brother. But 2 losses, man. That's pretty impressive. I was pissed a lot. I got beat out by Matt. Congratulations again, Matt, on the baby. But, dang it, man. Next year. There's always next year. But congratulations, Colleen. And your prize is on its way. Yeah, I remember, actually, we were watching at least, the points coming up. And it's like, geez, Marshall Lynch scored a touchdown. This game over. I would have won. Your tight end screwed you.
Gates was sitting out of free agency. I just didn't pick him up. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, let's get into this week's Week 17 picks, the last week of the regular season. So, congratulations making it through another regular season, brother. And next week, of course, we will start the playoffs. Hopefully, certain teams are in it. So, let's start with the first game. 1 p.m., Cleveland travels to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, which is their last chance of winning a game. Pittsburgh is negative 14.5 at home. Justin.
I was doing a lot of thinking about this, and I decided that I'm actually going to go with Cleveland.
What?
Because I think that when you're a professional ball club that is about to go winless, I think that lights a fire under your ass. I think that makes you realize we have to win a game this year to make ourselves legitimate professional ball players. So I think the Browns are going to give their best effort when they go into Heinz Field. And are they going to win? No. Probably not, but 14.5 is a lot of points.
You make a really good point. And again, this is also a Pittsburgh team which is in the playoffs, no question. There's no doubts about their playoff hopes. And I mean, teams that are definitely guaranteed at least that first week bye typically usually sit a lot of their starters. So it is going to be interesting to see what the Browns do. You're right. Will they win? Probably not. Would be interesting and very entertaining to watch. But I think the Browns actually will cover the spread. So I'm going to pick Cleveland for, I think, the first time this year. Next up, Washington travels to New York to take on the Giants in a divisional game where the Giants at home are plus 3.5.
I think I'll take Washington here. I mean, the Giants are coming off a loss where they scored no points when they went into Arizona, and I think that's, it's a division game. It's a relatively small spread. Washington hasn't been anything special this year in themselves either, but we all know how bad that Giants team struggles. I think they'll actually lose here.
Yeah, this is a game of pride. I mean, really nothing is on the line for either team. It's just a finish up a game. I don't think the Giants are going to win, and I don't even think they'll cover the spread. I think Washington, but that's enough to be said about that. Next up, the Green Bay Packers travel to Detroit to take on the Lions, where the Lions have a -9 spread at home.
You know what? I'll actually take the Packers here because the Lions in this most recent game, I was very disappointed in Matt Stafford's performance.
Of course you were.
Of
He
course
was your
we know
starting
why.
quarterback.
We know why, but yeah, the Lions, lately they haven't looked like anything special to me, and it's a 9-point spread, so maybe Hundley can get it done and cover that spread for the Packers.
Yeah, I think if they pound the rock and, maybe give my boy Jamal Williams some extra carries, maybe they could definitely win. I think Green Bay will cover the spread, no question. And again, Detroit hasn't looked that impressive. Dang, sorry about Matt Stafford for you, bro. 3 points. You lost by 3 points.
Unbelievable.
And, wow. Next up, Chicago travels to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings have a negative 12.5 at home. Holy crap.
A lot of wide spreads.
A whole lot of wide spreads.
I'm gonna take Chicago just for the fact that Minnesota has the playoffs locked up. I mean, is this a game where they sit some guys? I think it's possible. Nothing's confirmed from what I've seen, but I just don't think the Vikings need to win this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, this is the last week of the regular season. A lot of teams are going to be trying to rest other players, give them an extra week going into playoffs. I mean, there's no telling what Minnesota could do. Again, this is probably a bad week to gamble. Let's be honest here. Probably gambling-wise, probably a tricky week. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Chicago at least to cover the spread. Don't think they'll win, but I definitely don't think they're going to lose by 12.5. Next up, Dallas travels to Philly to take on the Eagles, where the Eagles and Nick Foles have a -2 at home.
This is kind of tough because, the Eagles just came off a game where they really, let's be honest about it, they would have barely beat the Raiders but for that stupid fumble at the end where they're trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So really, in actuality, that's a very close game. And now you have a rival Cowboys coming back. I'm actually going to roll with the Cowboys here.
Man, Chris would love you on that pick. I will not, though. Again, it's -2. I mean, that technically means that Philly could win by a field goal and cover that spread.
I just think the Cowboys are going to win straight up for some reason. I think, Zeke coming in there, maybe Cowboys just want to go out with a bang. You got Foles. I don't know. The Eagles aren't as exciting anymore, let's be honest.
The Cowboys aren't exciting. The Cowboys are a joke. I mean, Dak Prescott has definitely proven that he is not the quarterback everybody thought he was. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of salty Cowboy fans in our comments this week. I'm excited. Yeah, Chris, I'm talking to you. But no, I think the Eagles for sure could definitely pick up a good victory here, capping off an amazing regular season, and definitely going into the playoffs with some momentum. I think at this point it does go into momentum for the Eagles at least. They have a new quarterback now, Nick Foles. Well, old new quarterback. But they need all the momentum they can get to ride deep and to get hopefully to the Super Bowl, which I don't think is impossible for them. Next up, the New York Jets travel to New England. Another amazing wide spread where the New England Patriots have a -16.5 at home.
Yeah, wow, 16.5, huh?
Crazy wide.
I'm still going to pick the Patriots just for the sake that I think the Patriots want a nice blowout win to carry momentum into playoffs. And at home against the Jets, I think it's possible they can do that.
No. Again, I am not... Yes, the Patriots have won a lot of games. But the Patriots aren't the Patriots that they used to be. I get it. Tom Brady has all the passing yards in the world, but he is definitely not the Tom Brady he used to be. Tom Brady's on the steep decline. And I honestly don't see them going to the Super Bowl unless the refs win a game for them again. That's just a different story for a different episode. But I think the way the Bills almost beat them, who's to say the Jets can't? The Dolphins went off on the Patriots.
Yes, but in their own stadium. I mean, this is coming into New England, and it's the Jets with Bryce Petty. I just think they're going to get destroyed.
Who's to even say Tom Brady's playing? But I think I'm going with the Jets only simply on the fact that they're not. I don't think they're going to get beat by 16.5 points. I think for sure it could be. I don't think it's going to be a terribly close game, but I don't think they're going to get blown up blown out 16.5. I just don't see that happening. I don't have confidence in the Patriots defense or the offense to score that many points.
Guess we'll see.
We will see. And next up, we have the Houston Texans traveling to Indy to take on the Colts, where it is just a straight-up pick'em game.
I'm going to take the Colts, and I mean, again, this year you can never really feel great about taking the Colts, but they are coming off a close loss to the Ravens in M&T Bank, which neither of us saw coming. We thought it'd be a wider margin of victory. But they played well in that game, and now they're at home. They're playing a team that just got blown up by the Steelers. The Texans are not all that in and of themselves, so I will roll with the Colts here at home.
Unlike Justin, I'm going to actually pick the Houston Texans. Yes, respect where respect is due. Indy played their butts off last week, and it definitely caught me off guard sitting at home. I'm like, wow, they could actually pull off an upset here at one point, but nonetheless they didn't. But I think Texans, they are the better team here, and it's a straight-up pick-em game, so I'm just going to go with Houston. Next up, we have Buffalo traveling to Miami, where Miami has a plus 2.5 at home.
I'm taking the Miami Dolphins, and it's a relatively easy pick. I mean, again, this is one of those things where we've seen with the Dolphins, they can't be taken lightly in their own stadium. They beat the Patriots in their own stadium. Mm-hmm. Now they get the Bills, who I believe are playing Nathan Peterman still. I don't know why. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins, too. I mean, neither one of these teams are that impressive, but I think for me the X factor is, well, the opposite of an X factor would be Peterman. Why are you starting him? There's no reason. There's no fucking reason why he's starting. It actually kind of pisses me off because it's like, why? Ugh, no. Miami, let's go. And actually never mind. Let's keep moving. Next up, Carolina travels to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons have a -3 at home.
You know what? I'll roll with the Panthers this week and see what happens. I mean, I have been picking the Falcons quite a bit lately, but -3, who knows? It might actually hurt them here. It might be a close game.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta. They're at home. It's -3. It's the last game. Might as well go out on last game of the regular season. Might as well go out on a bang. Why not? Next up, New Orleans travels to Tampa to take on the Bucs, where the Bucs are plus 7.5 at home. Justin, what's up?
Yeah, that actually is pretty tough because I know the Saints are the better team, but the Saints also tend to play better in the dome at home. I'll go with the Bucs. See if Jameis Winston and company can get this done with the plus 7.5.
Okay. I don't. No. There's no way. Really? The Bucs? Man.
Plus 7.5, sure.
I don't rely on you for gambling. Anyways, I'm going with New Orleans. I mean, Drew Brees and that running game that the Saints have somehow developed over last year is something special. And I think going into the playoffs, I mean, they're going to need the momentum here. So I'm going to go with New Orleans. I think they're going to do something nasty this week against Tampa, honestly. Next up, the game I've been waiting for, Cincinnati versus Baltimore. All eyes on the 4-1-0 Baltimore Ravens, who have a -10 on their spread. Oh, God. Really? Why? Such a wide spread. Why?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Why?
I see the Ravens winning this game, but the -10 I don't know about. I mean, I think this is one of those things where the Ravens, they have a lot to play for here. Mm-hmm. It's in their stadium. We know they destroyed Cincinnati in their own stadium earlier in the year. But division rivalry, Bengals don't want to let the Ravens in. I think this is one of those things where maybe Ravens win by a touchdown or maybe a last-second field goal. The 10-point spread makes a difference to me. I'm going to actually take Cincinnati plus 10.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a different Cincinnati team that played the Ravens in the earlier part of the season. And, I mean, the Baltimores are essentially already in a playoff mindset where it is win or go home. I mean, if the Ravens don't win here, they don't go to the playoffs or the science behind it. Yeah, but the Ravens are in control of their own destiny at the end of the day where they have to win. No question about it, they're going to win. Or they have to win, at least. And I have no question that they could win here. It's going to be a very close game. For the sake of pulling a Reckless pick here, though. I'm picking Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to bring something to the table. I think, honestly, Joe Flacco's healthy. And a lot of people haven't talked a lot about that, where there's a different Joe playing than the Joe of the earlier part of the season, who was still suffering probably from that injury. The defense knows what's at stake here, and they're playing at home. Why not? Let's go, Ravens. Let's get to the playoffs. And next up, Jacksonville travels to Tennessee to take on the Titans, where the Titans are -5 at home.
I love that Jacksonville's getting a +5 here. I think that makes it all the sweeter to pick them. Yes, they did fall to Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers.
But Jimmy Garoppolo is a future GOAT.
But, I mean, come on. So this Jaguars defense has had, maybe like 2-3 bad games all season.
Yeah.
They're going to get back to form here against their division rival, and I'd like them to either win or at least cover the spread of 5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville, honestly. I think they'll bounce back this week against the Titans, and what a better game to do it against a divisional rival, honestly. I mean, whatever, Jimmy Garoppolo, we'll talk about him in a bit, though. I'm a total fanboy right now. Next up, Arizona travels to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, or what's left of the Seahawks, where somehow the Seahawks have a -7 at home.
That is actually pretty tough because the Cardinals are coming off a victory where they shut out their opponent. Wasn't their stadium, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll roll with the Cards +7. I don't want to discount Seattle too much because historically in that stadium they play well, but they did get destroyed by the Rams in their own stadium. They haven't been looking great lately. They have injuries. Let's see what the Cardinals can get done with the +7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cards too as well. Seattle's got a lot of things they're gonna need to work out this offseason. There's a lot of stuff going on in that locker room, and I don't know if they're playing 100% as a unified unit. I'm going to go with Arizona here on a flyer and say, hey, they're going to pull off a beautiful upset in Seattle. Why not? Next up, we have Oakland traveling to L.A. to take on the Chargers, where the Chargers have a -7 at home. Wait, what? Yeah.
-7 at home for the Chargers, huh? I'll take the Raiders. I mean, this most recent week, they kept it very close against the Eagles up until the end where they did the stupid lateral that went for the touchdown. But, yeah, I mean, if they can play the Eagles close, why can't they play the Chargers close? They get a +7, so.
I'll tell you what, it's a divisional game, and that makes all the difference for the Chargers here. And I think Chargers actually are going to pick up a victory. I think they're going to cover this spread easily. Maybe if actually, Marshawn Lynch and the Oakland Raiders had done better.
Yeah. Philly's a tough defense.
Yeah, they are. We'll give them that. Never take anything away from Philly. Next up, Kansas City travels to Denver, where Denver has a -2.5 on the spread. Wow.
That's an easy pick. Kansas City. Denver Broncos, even with the defense being pretty good, their offense has been trashed the second half of the season. It's just been horrible. And I think even in the Mile High Stadium, the Chiefs should be able to get it done here.
Yeah, Chiefs. Nothing left to be said. And next up, the game I'm second looking forward to, San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo travels to L.A. to take on your Rams. Nice jersey.
Yeah, as I sit here with the Color Rush Jared Goff jersey.
Fresh Goff.
The thing is, though, I heard that most likely Gurley and Goff are sitting for this game. And if that's happening, honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't pick the 49ers here. But the +6.5 and the starters on the other team are sitting. I mean, Rams got everything locked up. They're going into playoffs, so, there's not really a need to absolutely win this game. I'll take the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 49ers as well. The Jimmy G saga continues in San Francisco. Again, like you said, they're sitting out some of their starters. If the rumors of them not sitting out the starters wasn't happening, if Jared Goff was playing, if Gurley was playing, if we knew for sure, yeah, I'd pick the LA in a second. But you still have Jimmy G in there. You have San Francisco's offense that's probably going to be firing on all cylinders just to make a statement and say, hey, next year we're coming for y'all. I think they're going to punch y'all in the mouth, and I think they're going to get a victory here.
And they did just beat the crap out of the Jaguars, so they're showing they're legitimate.
Yeah, they beat the Jaguars, and I remember what happened to us in England, so, yeah, wow. I don't know. 49ers, if they build a team around Jimmy, they may have a legit NFC West contender out there for y'all.
I think they need, I think they might need a couple more pieces to really solidify themselves. And
Again,
right now, Goodwin's their top receiver, but who knows? I mean, free agency could be big for them.
Yeah, free agency could be big. Again, this is an interesting draft class coming, which we'll probably talk about in future episodes. But yeah, San Francisco is definitely that team I'm excited to see next year. I'll tell you that. But yeah.
So that's going to do it for Week 17. Can't wait to get to the playoffs and keep doing those picks because that's going to be fun as well. But from Lit Sports Online and LitTube, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Stay tuned.
Hey, and don't forget also to subscribe down below, like our video. Check out our blog, actually. Justin put up a new article. We'll put that in the links in the bio down below. And from our LitTube family to yours, Happy New Year's.